talk about an incident that occurred over the weekend where Sergeant Cotner with our Child Advocacy Center and our Sexual Assault Unit went downtown, canvassed the area, trying to get some information in relationship to a possible rape that occurred in the downtown area. So some of you may have seen some posts on Facebook where Sergeant Cotner put his card out and tried to get anybody that had any information in relationship to potential young ladies being in the downtown area that may have been the victims or targets of a potential rape situation. So we are confirming that we did have an incident that occurred in the area over the weekend. Since October, we had an incident in October of this year that fits similar description to the incident that may have occurred this weekend. So October the 1st, and then of course this past weekend we had another incident that potentially fits the MO or the motive, that motive of operation that the individual may have used to attract young people or get young people's attention to be their potential victims. Obviously, this happened in the downtown area. Specifics, I won't release those details because we're still doing an ongoing investigation, and there are some things that we would just like to kind of keep close to the vest until we're able to make a determination: are these incidents related, specifically related to one another, or just they have similar circumstances that occurred in both. My recommendations to the general public is, as always, is young people in particular, when you're going anywhere to party, make sure that you take close friends with you, people that are that's going to pay attention to you and what you're doing, and be careful what you drink, be careful who you associate with, make sure that you go with groups, because obviously people are less likely to become victims if they're with a group of people as opposed to being by themselves. Be careful about how much alcohol you consume when you go out, because those things are things that help you become potential targets. So we're encouraging young people as they go out to be aware of their surroundings and be careful about who they're with, and make sure they've got somebody that's gonna look out for them. And to date, we don't have any additional incidents in that immediate area that would suggest that we have a major problem. We're just looking at both of these simply from the perspective that it would appear that the individual that may be responsible for this incident used a similar type of tactic to get young people's attention by indicating to them that they were in the military, and that they were basically saying to them that they were in the military and getting them to befriend them and then going off with them. So we would just encourage young people, that if they go out and hang out, make sure they've got somebody with them that can help watch out for them.
And if the first incident happened back at the beginning of October, why did you wait so long to let us know about it?
Well, first of all, there are a lot of isolated rape incidents, and so there was nothing dramatic about that particular incident. There was no pattern at that time that suggested that we needed to sound an alarm about something going on. This is a second incident of that nature that used at least some of the tenets that was used in the first incident that occurred. So again, one rape is one rape too many. But if there's no pattern, one incident doesn't create a pattern for you. And so we had not had a problem or a pattern of rape, sexual assault incidents occurring in the area that we should be alarming the community. And when we did get one, we immediately got out and canvassed the community to try to address the concerns and make people be aware of their surroundings.
So can you describe how they look?
At this time, specific details about how they look is an African American male with a Caucasian male. And so again, there are some similarities in the way the two happened, because in the first incident, that was only an African-American male, and this time there was an African-American male and a Caucasian male together. So we don't know, again, if the first incident is directly tied to the second incident. It's just some of the similarities that exist about the military is a thing that we immediately tie that in as a keyword or a clue to what we might be looking for.
With the second incident, so the one over the weekend, was it Saturday or was it?
It was this past Saturday.
Okay, and did the victim allege that both men raped her, or?
Again, rape is one of those crimes that is very private, and so we were very guarded with the information that we would want to put out in relationship to what the victim may have said happened in a particular case like that. We're still gathering information, and our ultimate goal is to bring closure to the victim and to bring those individuals responsible to justice for committing such a crime.
Well, just so people know more of what to look out for, not everybody has seen the Facebook post. Can you go into a little bit more of a description of, it was on the Facebook post, so it's starting to be out there, but just, I know it described one as being bald, and it kind of gave an age range. Can you give a little bit more of a description?
Okay.
You can read it, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. The post basically actually said that both of the individuals appear to be between the ages of 20 and 30 years old. That one of the guys, the white guy, would be blonde, would have blonde streaks in his hair. The other is a black guy, and he's bald. And like I said, they both appear to be 20 to 30 years of age.
Okay.
Are they juveniles, the victims?
Again, the sexual assault is something that we really try not to give out too many details about.
Or do you think that they're targeting a certain age woman or a certain type of woman, or was there a certain part of, I mean, we know it was on Dolphin Street, but was it at a bar when they started talking and then they left and that's where the rape happened? Just
again, there doesn't appear early on to be a specific age range of the victims. We've only had two to speak of. The other is, based off what we know, that targets of opportunity, young people go drink, and as they're leaving, they leave alone. And when you leave alone, you become a greater target for someone that's looking to prey on you. And so again, if you go out drinking, don't go alone. Go with somebody, and make sure that when you leave with somebody. If you have a drink, if you sit your drink down, don't go back to that drink. Buy another one. Don't purchase a drink. Drink something out of it. Go to the dance floor, dance a little bit, and come back, because during that time your drink was unattended. Someone could have placed something in it. So those little things that helps protect you as an individual as you're going out and socializing.
Do you believe that this situation, somebody spiked a drink, or?
I don't know that, but again, these are things. She asked about her being alone, and they ask about, why would these particular people target it? My experience as a law enforcement officer is victims place themselves in situations where they become targets by isolating themselves or doing something, some type of behavior that makes them more susceptible to being preyed upon.
Do we know? So we don't know whether either of these women were slipped some kind of drug in their drink.
Correct. I don't know if it was just because they consumed too much alcohol, or if they just were slipped something. Usually there's a correlation that either you drink too much on your own, which can render you incapacitated, or someone could slip something in your drink. And so the idea would be is that I can't tell you that at this time.
Can you say if the sexual assaults actually happened downtown, or if the suspects took the victim somewhere and then it happened? I mean, was this a...
Again, we're still early in the investigation. We're still gathering facts and details from our victim to let us know more about what actually took place. And as they're able to provide us more information, we'll be able to do a better job of bringing the individual or the individuals to justice for what they did.
The military thing that was mentioned, was that used as a tactic to get the women to leave with them? Is that...
Again, I don't know if that was a specific ploy. That's just, that was just a simple thing that we know occurred. I think it was put in the Facebook post and what the detective told them. Again, guys that are out looking to prey will use any tactics they can to get the attention of individuals, and maybe it was part of their plan. I don't know the answer to that at this point.
And it sounds like they did the right thing by reporting it immediately. Maybe just if you want to say something to the public along the lines of how important it is with rape cases specifically or sexual assaults to report it quickly like these women did.
Well, in all instances where you're a victim of a sexual assault, the sooner you report it, the better our chances of corroborating the information that you provide and also bringing those individuals to justice. The ability to get a rape kit done to determine if there is any DNA evidence available that will help us later on down the road with prosecution. And so the sooner the better. The fact that that hopefully they don't go home and take a bath and wash away down the drain a lot of the evidence. Evidence is important to us solving these type of cases, and so we would encourage victims that people that find themselves victims of sexual assault cases to make sure that they report it as quickly as they possibly can, and make sure that they go to the hospital and have the rape kits done, because that helps us and it helps them later on down the road.
Were you guys able to get that in this case, DNA evidence? Are you able to say?
I'm not able to say at this point.
Okay.
And some would argue that every rape is worth reporting, so did we need to see a pattern first before coming forward and reporting it?
No, well, actually, the rapes are reported. You asked why did we not, do a story.
After they happened in such a public area to happen downtown.
Again, because when you're investigating, you're looking at, sometimes there are date rape incidents that you still have to make sure that you're not alarming the public to something that they don't need to be alarmed to. At this point, again, there was nothing about the first incident that created an alarm that said you need to let the public know that there hadn't been a history of rapes in general happening in that area. And so we took that information and we started to process it and started looking for a suspect. There was really no reason to alarm the public. And then when we get the second incident, then we say, hey, look, we need to look at least see if there are any others that fit this pattern or this MO.
And in both cases, you don't believe that the victims knew the suspects at all prior to that night?
Right now, we don't have anything that indicated that they knew them personally. They may have ran into them or encountered them at the bar, but as far as having an extended relationship with them, we don't have anything that indicates that they had an extended personal relationship with the perpetrators.
Thank you, Chief.
All right.
That is scary. Have you guys had any other calls in reference to other incidents?